Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Spotify.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hey, I'm Amanda from Trifecta Fitness. We're proud to be Clarksville's new Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
For every veteran, there is a story about a calling to serve, to fight for the freedoms of the American people. And every story has a struggle, a sacrifice, and invisible wounds. Warrior Watts programs help veterans recover from PTSD and invisible wounds through exercise, nutrition, and connecting with other veteran leaders. It is estimated that 22 veterans die each day by suicide, and another 30 veterans die each day by substance abuse. These are preventable deaths. Warrior Watt is committed to fighting PTSD through fitness, nutrition, and community.
All right. Welcome back.
Misfit Nation. The Misfit Nation Show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, Stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation Show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_Misfit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
All right. The ToosDay Crue is here, hosted by Stephen LaMonica and Jay Collin. It is a Misfit Nation production that brings powerful stories of grit, resilience, and leadership to life. Stephen is a business leader and YouTube consigliere. He ensures the show runs smoothly, providing real-time feedback and maintaining discipline during live broadcasts. Jake a 25-year Army veteran and former EOD tech. We call him Hurt Locker. We call him Lacey. Offers deep insights from his extensive service, which includes multiple combat deployments and VIP missions around the globe. Together, they welcome guests from diverse backgrounds to share their journeys, inspiring listeners with stories of overcoming adversity and leading with purpose. Whether you're tuning in for the insightful discussions, or to enjoy Steven's passion for NASCAR, or Jake's anecdotes from his farm in Kentucky, the ToosDay Crue delivers a unique blend of entertainment and inspiration every week. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ToosDay Crue! As he goes through this tough time, as the sound comes back, again, it's Trooper Kyle McAsey, Nebraska State Police, Nebraska. His end of watch was February 17th, 2025. He was pulled over helping an accident victim when a snowplow tragically crashed into him and took him out. So keep his friends, his family, his peers in your thoughts and prayers. Now, I beg you, reach up above your shoulders. Pull down those shoulder straps. We got Cagney. We got Lacey. It's the ToosDay Crue. Let's get ready, boy!
Hello, Misfit Nation. Welcome to the ToosDay Crue. Good evening, Stephen.
Howdy. We are just pumped up tonight.
Yes, we are. How are you doing? I'm just pumped up to be somewhere with some heat.
Heat? We don't need no heat. It's baby weather out there.
Shoot, I'm still just down.
Shorts and a t-shirt. I shave my head so my head gets a nice tan.
I'm just now starting to warm up. And I know there's folks out there, it's probably colder than what we was today, but you know what? It was miserable out there. So, I'm glad to be back to the room where I got some warmth, got a full belly, had one of Indiana's famous breaded pork tenderloin sandwiches. It was amazing.
Nice.
So, caught up with an old friend and had some supper, so I'm good to go. And you probably enjoyed your day off today, didn't you?
Well, yeah, did all my honey-do list, did my shopping, my laundry, I got everything done.
Nice.
Made myself dinner, sat nice and quiet, watched TV, and now here we are on the show.
All right.
Ready to talk.
Hey, got a question for you. Do you like being successful?
Do I like being
successful?
Yes.
Would you like to be more successful?
Who wouldn't? So yes.
And I would too. I would love to be more successful. Tonight's guest, Bill Heinrich, he's going to share with us how to be more successful. And I guess he wasn't happy with his life. He wasn't, no matter how much money he was making, he did not feel like a whole person. So he walked out the door to change his life, and he said he never looked back. He just walked out and said, I got to do something different. I don't feel whole. I'm not complete. I don't feel successful. So tonight he's going to come in here and he's going to share with us how he did that, and hopefully share with us how we can make ourselves more successful. So without any further ado, let's get Bill in here.
Good evening, Bill.
Good evening, Bill.
I feel like I should be jumping up and down and all excited here. So let's do it.
Let's do it. Hey, I didn't say much about you. I basically that 30 years ago, you just kind of made a change in that you was going to just make some changes in your life. So you can start from wherever you want to start and tell us how we got to where we are today.
Okay. Yes. A little over 30 years ago, I was so miserable that I literally 2 days after Christmas walked out the front door. I was in a relationship and it was just, my life was a mess. It was crazy. It was chaotic. It was nuts. And so I was so miserable. I was in a relationship and I said to the woman, it was like 9 o'clock at night and something hit me and I just snapped. And I looked at her and said, you know what? I am so miserable. I've got to go find out why. And I'm leaving to go do that right now. And I walked out the door and never came back. And I changed everything but my name. And I've spent the last 30 years researching what created my misery. And over that time, I found many resources that are completely free, that are available to us, that will cure anybody's stress, overwhelm. And I've been teaching it now and working with executives, CEOs. I've worked with all kinds of people, teaching them literally how to live their life purpose. And in my programs, I give a 100% money back guarantee. Never given anybody their money back. They've never asked for it because everybody is doing life. What they're doing is living with a blindfold on, making decisions based on who they aren't.
Okay.
And that's why people run into so many problems. So you want to start out with the ninja secret right to begin with?
Sure.
No.
We have to
I say yes. He says no.
Hey, you know what? Hey, if you want to start out with the ninja secret, just as we begin, and then we'll just kind of break it down on how people can use that. Yeah.
Okay.
And once you start that, I am sure, because we've got some great guests and we will probably get questions. We will probably spend more than half of our time this evening answering questions. So
fire. Tell them to fire away. I love questions.
Hey, let's go ahead and jump off this bridge.
Okay. So here's the deal. Okay. When you look in the mirror, you are not seeing you.
Okay.
What you're seeing is a physical manifestation of your energy.
Okay.
So everybody says, and I've worked with hundreds of people. Nobody knows this. Honestly, I've nobody sat down with me and knew the answer ever. And I kind of tripped across it because I found out what didn't work and it finally led me to this. We are energetic beings. So people think their life purpose is what they do, and it is not true. Your life purpose is the energy that you do things with.
Okay.
There's only
I'm intrigued.
What's that?
I said, I'm intrigued.
There's only two emotions. Okay. Everybody gets all complicated, and life is complicated when you look at it. Okay. But really, there's only two emotions, and those emotions are love and fear. Everything comes from one of those two emotions in your life.
Okay.
You can't name any other emotion that doesn't start in one of those two places. People constantly live in fear, and the reason they live in fear is because they use their head, and your head will only protect you, and your head can only go to the past to get information. So it's calling up information from the past, and you get into these instant reactions that are caused by the story inside of you that create an emotion. And the emotion is typically going to be fear-based when you're looking at the physical world. When you're in the physical world, You can only create fear, confusion, hard work, and lack of clarity and suffering. That's all you can get out of life. If you want to enjoy life, you have to use your energy and your heart to create love and abundance rather than coming in angry. If you come in, everything I do is from a place of love for the benefit of everyone involved. Doesn't matter what it is. I don't care what the result is. It doesn't matter. If I'm here in a place of love, then I'm contributing in a positive way. So understanding that there's two of you is what makes the difference. There's an energetic you and a physical you. Okay?
Okay.
Here's the key. The day you die, which one leaves?
The physical.
No.
No.
The physical stays here.
Oh, okay. All right. Now
your energy leaves.
Okay.
The case stays here.
Yes.
And when you look, and believe me, I'm giving you this kind of people kind of go like, this is kind of crazy, but it's so true. When you're looking in the physical, people are always talking about physical items, money, cars, getting more. When you come from your heart, you're always using words that have no description in your physical life. Love, abundance, gratitude. What do those look like? You don't know until they're expressed and they manifest in front of you.
Right.
How many problems are you going to create in your life when you come from love, abundance, and gratitude? None.
No, because, all three of those words are positive words.
They're energetic words. Yes.
Yes.
They're about who you're being, not what you're doing.
Yes.
And that's the key. It's who are you being today? And we get lost in that because in our physical life, we're taught survival. You know, we're born, we're perfect. When we're absolutely perfect when we're born, they slap us on the ass and everything goes downhill from there. It's all about, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. No, right?
That's true.
But when you look at the most influential people, you'll see they're coming from this energetic place. They aren't pushing an agenda. Because with love, you protect. With fear, you protect. And with love, the more you give, the more you get
back.
Yes.
Here's another one I know you've heard. People will never remember what you said, but they'll always remember how you made them feel.
Yes.
You see the difference in those two?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the defining factor. So what questions do you have from there?
Actually, we've got one that just popped in.
Great.
And we will count that as a typo. I like
That's not a typo. I like a movies. That's who it is.
He addressed Bill as Brian, but he said, what was the biggest mindset shift that you had to make to get where you are today, and how can others start making the shift in their own lives?
Well, you can tell I like them boobies that you can call me anything but late for dinner. Okay.
Words to live by.
Okay. Here's the deal. Mindset does not work. Mindset sucks. Period. End of conversation. The reason for that is because the universe runs on 7 laws. The law the law of rhythm, what flows in, flows out, the law of gender, male and female and everything, so on.
Ho, now. You might be upsetting some people with that. I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
Because I've been known to upset people. I apologize. But anyway, let me get the hook out of my cheek here. The number one law in the universe is that everything's a vibration. Now, this is scientifically proven.
Okay.
Everything's a vibration in the universe. So, mindset means this. You're working with your mind that can only deal from the past. And it's set, which means it's fixed, which means you're automatically in resistance with the constant organic change in the universe. Everything's in changing all the time. The universe is in organic expansion all the time. When you look around you, there's expansion everywhere. And the greatest expansion that you see happens in the non-physical. And the most perfect example of that expansion is telephones. I know you guys remember when there was a line on the wall and you couldn't walk away from the kitchen when you're talking on the phone.
Yes.
Jake's first one was the crank on the side.
Right. The party line. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We had a party line when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. What do you have now? You have a computer in your pocket that you touch a button and you can talk to somebody in Australia in seconds.
Yes. If I knew somebody in Australia to call, I'd do it.
That's expansion in the non-physical. It's a vibration that transmits and connects with another vibration. Look at just the expansion. What you just held up, if you took all the things you did, piled it on the desk in front of you, we wouldn't be able to see you because you'd have maps there. You'd have flashlights, yes. Right? I mean, it's all in that little piece.
Yes.
So people talk about mindset all the time. Mindset is good for a moment, for a project of focusing. I need to get this done today. I'm getting zeroed in and focused on this. Let me get it done. I'm going to put myself in a position with the discipline to complete it. But in living life, you just want to be open and experience it, because as you experience it without being fixed on what you're creating, but just experiencing it, that's how miracles occur. And my clients experience miracles all the time. And let me give you a definition of a miracle. It's an unexpected event in your life with a positive outcome.
Okay.
That's all a miracle is. Everything happens because of vibration, because like attracts like. Again, scientifically proven. But we get fixed in survival. Need to make money, get a car, a house. I want a bigger house. I want a vacation. I want all these things. And we just get stuck in that game of survival. And now we're in competing with everybody else. It's not an abundant way to live.
Okay.
Abundance says there's plenty for everybody everywhere. Let's not compete. Let's collaborate. Let's work in cooperation because there's plenty for everybody. And the other aspect of it that's very important is in the physical, everyone gets put into groups and boxes. And we're all asked to live a certain way. But the truth of the matter is, every one of us is completely different. Every one of us has different energy. And the minute you can recognize that and you don't protect, because when you say something that doesn't fit for the way I live, I want to know more about it because I can learn something. I'm not going to judge it because you get to make your choice in life. And so I just want to understand it because it doesn't threaten me. What happens with most people when they hear it is they're like, if he thinks that, then I'm wrong. And I'm not wrong. He's wrong. Well, there is no right or wrong when you come from love and vibration. That you don't play that game. You play the game of appreciation for how unique people are. It's like what you're doing with your show. This is your guys' expression of what you want to bring to the world. And I salute that, and especially the veteran piece and the work you're doing in that area. It's fantastic. But it's your uniqueness that creates the show.
And well, yeah. And you probably couldn't pick two people from two bigger, different backgrounds.
And so what's the energy that brings you together?
Craziness? I don't know.
Yeah.
What is it that you love about each other? Because you probably don't use the term love, but you love each other, and you're doing this together, and you're having a lot of fun doing it, obviously.
Oh, we do have a lot of fun doing it.
It's the main form, the boss, that brought us together and made us one little family here. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And when you finish a show, I know that your energy is pumped. I know that for a fact, just being with you, right?
It is.
It takes you a while to wind down after, because your energy's been built up. You don't really remember what was said. It's all about how you felt doing it.
Yeah, because I mean, generally a show will start and we'll sit here and it seems like we just got started and we've already talked an hour.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
that's what happens. You're ageless and timeless when you're in your life purpose.
See, Stephen, I'm ageless. I'm not old. I'm ageless.
Right. Good looking too, Stephen, by the way. But that's what happens. You become ageless and timeless, and you could just keep going. You just lose track of time.
Well, we're timeless because we're on YouTube forever.
Yeah.
Hey, we got another question that come in. It's from I Love Me Subaru. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be, and how would it have changed your path? Man, I'd love to talk to my younger self, but
boy, that's such a great question. Here's the simplest and most important thing that I've learned on this journey. And the thing I would tell my younger self is to never be defensive.
Okay.
Never be defensive, because defensiveness is the root of all evil. It's protecting a position or an opinion that you think is held in higher esteem than somebody else's. So you're defending it. Okay. I'm not talking about physical, about the need for physical protection and defensiveness. I'm talking about emotional. It's like, well, if they think that, they're right, I'm wrong. And that's how people get in art. That's not true. Well, yes, it is. It's true for each of you, but they're different points of view.
Yes. And I think that's how a lot of people fall into victimhood.
Oh, you immediately, you can only be one of two people, Jake, in this. Okay. Mm-hmm. You can either be a victim or you can be powerful. If you're a victim, the problem is outside of you.
Yes.
If you're powerful, inside of you, you can handle it. Here's a question. Here's another question that you guys will like. You have to pick one of these. Which one do you think is more important? Accountability or responsibility?
Accountability.
Absolutely not.
Oh.
You both lost.
Okay,
I'm going home.
You are home, Stephen. Quit it.
Yeah. No, when you're accountable, you're answering to somebody else.
Yeah, but aren't you kind of accountable to yourself too?
No, you're responsible because you've made a choice and you're going to live up to your commitment.
Okay.
Accountability means you're fulfilling an obligation that someone else is going to tell you whether or not it's right or wrong. whether or not it's good or bad. You're looking for validation outside of yourself when you're accountable, energetically. Okay.
Uh-huh.
People interchange those words, but if you look at them energetically, okay, responsibility, I am responsible for everything in my life. Whatever comes into my life, I'm responsible for, no matter what it is. That way, I have power.
Okay.
If I'm into accountability, I'm going to have to talk to somebody else about what happened and do some splaining, as they say. No, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Here's another one. First thing I teach my clients, never make another decision. Never make another decision. Because a decision, the root of a decision comes from the Italian word I can't pronounce. There's two words, and it means, the translation is to cut off, which means cut off, done, decision made.
Okay.
Make a choice. Hold your power.
Okay.
Make your highest choice. You can always change your choice. You're responsible to your choice, and you have your power. If you're making a decision, you're typically looking outside of you how others are going to respond. Think about it.
Yeah. And, yeah, there's the word.
That's the word, tagliere.
But I can understand that because
just say this out loud. Say, I need to make a decision.
I need to make a decision.
Okay. Now say, I'm going to make a choice.
I'm going to make a choice.
Which one feels better?
I'm going to make a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Your answer is in the energy, always.
Okay. Well, we got another question that popped up, and this is for me. This for me and Steve, and we're gonna have to make some choices. It's from at Bear Me Wisdom. If you had to survive a zombie apocalypse with only NASCAR drivers as your team, who's leading the charge and who's the first to get eaten?
I'm bringing back the Intimidator. He's coming back to life, and he's going to be in charge. And they're going to be eating Joey Logano. Because I just can't deal with that no more.
I'm going with Danica Patrick and the Bush brothers. Because Danica's already proven if it's out there, she's going to hit it. So,
well, I'm with the Intimidator for sure.
And the Intimidator has to lead it.
I'll go with the Bush brothers, and if
Kurt Busch wasn't that bad at Kyle sometimes.
Well, see, that's it. If I had my druthers about it with the Bush brothers, Kyle would be the first one to get eaten.
Yeah,
but yeah, that would be my three.
Okay. All right, now for you.
Oh, yeah. Now we got another question for you.
Another question popped up there. You kiss your mom with that mouth? Yes. If you had to sum up the key to fulfilling and prosperous life, it's just in just one sentence, what would it be?
Be in service to everyone from a place of love. With benefits for all involved. In other words, you're just there to come from a place of love and be of service regardless of the outcome. And you'll be amazed at what happens.
My father used to tell me, he said, nice begets nice.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and it does.
You know, when you working with clients, I work with I call myself a business coach, and it's kind of funny because I never talk business with my clients. I don't need to, because when they understand who they are energetically, they know what choice to make. So they aren't trying to figure out business anymore. All we're trying to figure out is the energy, how to expand it, what's going on, how we can improve it, how we can improve the culture with energy, how we can attract in that which we're creating as I speak in the collaboration with my clients. And so it's been interesting. It's a never-ending process. And I'll tell you about a new program I'm starting. But one of my challenges has been, I've stopped for a while. I wouldn't take any more clients one-on-one, only in group, because the clients that I work with one-on-one never leave, because we're just in a constant state of expansion. I've got one client just left after 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 4 right now that are at 7 years, each of them. We've been every week we work together for 7 years. No contracts. There's no need for a contract. I'm there. We have an agreement. That's it. But we move forward. No fear. There's no fear of loss.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fear of it has to be this, it has to be that. Each of them has grown. And I mean, I could tell you stories about what's happened in their life that are just, they'll just come in and say, I just can't wrap my head around what just happened. And I said, then we're in the right place. Because if your head had it figured out, we'd be struggling.
Yes.
Because that's what your head does, The other thing that's really important when we talk about love and fear, very, very important, fear cannot come into the present moment. In order to create fear, you must go to the past or to the future.
Okay.
It's impossible to create fear in your thought process in the present moment if you're present. It's impossible. Your mind can't even come to the present moment. It doesn't have the capacity. Your mind's stuck in the past. Your ego and logic is there to go to your mind and come back in and protect you and play all the games.
Okay.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because the only thing, it's like you said, instead of making a decision, make a choice. But if you're making that decision and you're making it out of fear, you have to draw from past experiences on what to do that. And if you just,
That's your fear, yes. That's why I said I can understand that. When I was 20 years old, I was 30 feet up in the air on a ledge, and the ladder I was on gave way, and I was hanging 30 feet in the air. And ever since that day, I climb a ladder and I shake to the point I almost have a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
I was never afraid of heights. And now, if I wasn't thinking back to 30 years ago when that happened, 35 years ago, I can do whatever the hell I want. Mm-hmm. I get myself on a ladder and I'm like ready to lose my mind.
And if you look into it further, Stephen, what you're going to find is you'll find a number of other things happening. Okay. And that is your concern about stability. Your concern about safety.
Well, it's never been a safety thing because I'm one of those people that don't think, they just do, and then they pay the consequence later.
Right.
But consciously, when I climb a ladder, I nearly shit myself all the time.
Yeah. I'm that way. I was attacked by a dog when I was a young kid. And so I'm not over it, although I'm much better now around dogs because I can use my energy to control them. But I just would stay away from dogs. I just tense up, and then I tense up. What does a dog do?
Yeah,
right.
The dog senses fear. That's why. Yeah.
The dog senses the energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not talking to the dog. It's an energetic connection.
Mm-hmm.
I've got horses, and they know when I'm walking out into the pasture, if I'm coming out there just to pet them and spend time with them, or to catch them and go ride them. Because if I'm just going out there to spend time with them, they'll come right up to me and, want to play and do all that. But if I come out there with the intent that I'm going to catch you and we're going to ride, I got to chase them.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen, we've got another question.
Yeah, I saw that, and I honestly don't know what to think about that, because
I don't either. If we switched roles for a day, what's the first thing each of us would do to mess with the other?
I don't know. Have you ever worked retail?
I have never had a job in retail, ever. No. Well, unless you count selling eggs and chickens and beef off my back porch. But
It's not the same. I really don't know what I would do to mess you up. I really don't.
You know what? I don't either.
And I find it funny, and I hope they keep doing it, because it's been a couple weeks now. It started with the glasses, and it's on more and more questions.
That's what I'd probably do. I'd probably change your glasses style, or I might find one of Mrs. LaMonica's pet peeves and purposely trigger that. So when you come back, she'd get on your butt about it.
Next time we're on, I'm going to wear my sunglasses, so I look different, and I can still see, and we'll go from there.
That's funny.
Okay. Not poly, just real. Okay. After nearly 30 years of research and growth, what is the single most important lesson you've learned about living with passion and purpose?
That it gives me total freedom. It's total freedom. I get to do what I want, where I want, when I want, with who I want, anytime I want. It's a life of free will and choice. We're the only beings on the planet that have free will and choice, but we do everything to block ourselves from that.
Yes.
And when I'm living responsibly, I can do exactly what I said. Anything I want, anytime I want. It's my choice. It's total freedom.
See, that's the big thing, though. Getting people to live responsibly, because,
they don't know how to. Yeah.
Like the saying goes, with great freedom comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
People want that freedom, but there's a lot of people that fear true freedom.
Yeah. Oh, you want to know something? It's in the high 90 percentile.
Oh, I'm sure.
What people are really focused on is how to get to death safely.
Yeah, well, if you're unsafe, you get to death quicker, maybe.
They just want to be able to be comfortable till the day they die, not live their full life.
And
people are afraid of their power.
They are. And just a little bit about myself. That don't frighten me or give me much fear. I used to disarm bombs for a living.
Wow.
And so, if I messed up, it wasn't my problem anymore. Mm-hmm. And, but there's still things out there that I do have, I don't want to say an irrational fear of, but there's stuff out there that I fear that scares me, but it's not as bad as it used to be.
Let's look at the energy of disarming bombs.
Okay.
Because people hear that and go, oh my God, like what the hell? Right. But the truth of the matter is You knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
Everything was calculated, and there's pure detachment in that. There's a sense and a level of trust in yourself that most people will never see or touch.
That's true. Yeah.
So keep that in mind with the other things that are bothering you, because that's who you truly are.
Yeah. But then there was some of it that was like, hey, let's see if this works.
Sure. But that level, the intuition and the level, right? See, you are now talking about what I teach people.
Oh, okay.
That energy. What was that energy for you?
It was a high. Really.
Yeah. It was holding a wire cutter saying, "Don't die today. Don't die today. Don't die today." Click.
Did I leave the kitchen light on?
I did shut the stove off, right? Yes, dear.
Yes.
But just be with that, Jake, that level of energy, the knowing and the trust. You didn't go in there with shaky hands.
Yeah.
There was a level of energetic responsibility. There was a level of energetic responsibility that you had with that that few people will ever understand.
And most of the time he was sober when he was doing it, so that's good too.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
We got another question here. Will Strum for food. You mentioned that success isn't always what it seems. How do people recognize when they're chasing the wrong definition of success? I like that question.
The only way, there's only one thing in life that's true. There's only one thing that's true. Everything else is just a perception of your past. And the only one thing that's true is how you feel. And if you're moving down the wrong way, chasing success, it won't feel right. It'll be a struggle. There'll be resistance. You'll run into many encounters. And we've been taught, tough it out, battle it. But you have your energy is your radar system. You know, it's like your horses, Jake. Their radar system knows what's going on when you step into the pasture.
Oh, yeah. Usually before
your radar system is disclosing it to them.
Yes.
And there's not been a word said. Hell, they may not even see you and they'll feel that way.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's all about the energy. So when you're moving on the wrong path, it's difficult. You don't know what's going on. People on the wrong path have a chance. What they typically are going to do there is start picking up the victim role, and they're also going to be confused. They're going to start using confusion as their excuse.
Okay.
And the only way that you can create confusion is when there's an absence of commitment.
Okay. All right.
With a commitment, there's no confusion.
Yeah, there's not.
You're crystal clear, or you're in the process of getting clarity.
Okay. All right. We got time.
Wait, Jake. When you walk out to the hen house barehanded, you go and get eggs. When you walk out with an axe, how do the chickens react?
Really, chickens aren't that bright. So when it comes butchering time, though, they know that wait a minute, there's not as many of us in here as there was. So yeah, we've got time for a couple questions here. People kill, not guns. What's a piece of advice you were given by a mentor that you thought was garbage, but actually turned out to be good?
Years later.
You know, I don't know. I was so indignant when I was younger that I didn't listen to anybody. I was in a constant state of rebellion.
Okay.
The thing that turned my life around after I walked out the door was about 6 months later. I picked up Deepak Chopra's book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success.
Okay.
And in there are 7 laws, which are all actually created from the universal laws.
Okay.
There's no dogma in it at all. That he talks in chapter 1 that we are just energy, we're pure potentiality. And if we will allow this potential to roam freely, it will connect and you can create anything you desire. Very simple. The 7 spiritual laws of success. And that's what changed my life. That's the book that I was in a very strict religious upbringing, and I was done with that. So that's a great book. But there's since I've been on this path, there's many messages, there's many mentors, and I've picked up pieces from all of them. So the most significant one would be Deepak Chopra's book. That's the thing that was like, wow, that's what got me going on this. It's like, this works. If what I'm supposed to do is get the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
If I get out of the way, things are going to be good.
Yes. Yes.
When I get worried and fear, I put myself in timeout.
All right. Hey, we've already been through about 50 minutes here. So
oh my gosh.
We're going to start to wrap stuff up. Got one quick question there across the bottom. Rising Elliott. Bill, you talk about personal transportation. What was the defining moment when you knew you had to change your life?
Rising Elliott, what a great question. It was unwillingness. Unwillingness. I was unwilling to live that way one day more. I couldn't take it anymore.
One of those deals you've had it up to here with this shit.
It was a lot higher than that. it was like, I literally walked out the door and said, God, I don't do what you want with me. I don't care. I am not living that way any longer. I'm going to go find out why. So it's unwillingness. Once you're unwilling to live a certain way, you'll make a change. Until then, you're not going to change.
I completely understand.
Because a thought to change or a choice or decision to change without action is just a thought.
Yes.
Maybe tomorrow.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to wind down and wrap things up here just a little bit. What we usually ask of guests, I need 3 non-negotiables from you that has to get done every day.
Come from a place of love.
Okay.
Always come from a place of love. Always have an open mind and a foundation of gratitude.
Okay. A place of love, an open mind, and a foundation of gratitude. I would say that is words to live by. Bill, this has been a wonderful chat. I really had fun this evening. Thank you for coming on here. Misfit Nation, thank you for being here. Thank you for the great questions. Keep them coming. And
great information back and forth from Bill.
Yeah. I should say my website is True Life Purpose now. And it's under construction. It'll be up the end of the week, but I'm also on Facebook And let me just say real quickly, I've just created a new program called the Peak Potential Blueprint, where I design blueprints for people to tap into their peak potential. And I have a YouTube channel, Peak Potential Blueprint. People can go there and see videos and such.
Okay. And I apologize. I should have asked you about all that, but
I forgot. Listen, it came out perfectly, Jake. No problem.
All right. Well, hey, Misfit Nation, we love you. And looking forward to seeing you on Thursday.
Bill, thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
All
right. You're welcome. And just hang out for a little bit after we sign off.
Certainly.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a message from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Got a question about your VA benefits, healthcare, or eligibility? Go to va.gov, where you can access a new interactive chatbot to ask questions 24/7. One can still browse va.gov for information, but you can now ask specific questions to the chatbot, like what's the PACT Act? How do I apply for disability benefits? What's my claim status? You can access the new feature through va.gov's Contact Us page. Then click on the Start Chat button. The chatbot will continue to improve veterans' access to information about the benefits and services they've earned. This is one way VA is offering seamless and secure access to its online resources.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.